G'day guys, Hunter here from Hunters Camping and Bushcraft School. I'm out here in the bush prowling around with the dogs again. I'm looking for a campsite. I'm always looking for a campsite. I think I found a pretty decent spot. I could have a few classes out here. But today it's raining, so my initial plans are going to be changed a little bit. However, I'll try and take you with me. What I'm going to try and do, obviously, is I need shelter. So I'm going to string up the hoochie. Now what I want to talk to you about was finding what you need for a good campsite. So the first thing obviously is you want to find somewhere with a relatively flat piece of ground, which I've got here behind me. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've started clearing out an area. Now the reason I do that, I clear away all that leaf litter, is because I don't want to be camping on a bull ant's nest. I don't want to be camping on a funnel web hole or any snakes or any other critters that are out here trying to kill me. So I'll clear it out, I can make sure it's level that way, make sure there's no critters that are going to bother me, and we'll go from there. Then I'm going to string up a ridge line from that tree to that tree, and we'll get the hoochie up. So another thing I want to do straight up is to get my bag out of the wet ground. So I'm going to rig up a basic slip knot around that tree there and hang my pack. I've got a piece of cordage with a carabiner on it, and will just go around the carry handle on my pack. So where's that tree? There it is. Just tying a bowline in the end of my bit of string. And that forms a loop. Just grab a small stick. I want to do this around about head height. Put a bite through the loop, put your stick through the bite, and pull the tab end down. That pulls up nice and tight to the tree, and there you go, done, hanging. Now I can access all the goodies in my bag, such as the old hoochie and my ridge line, which I haven't sorted out from last time. It's a mess. Bad Hunter. That's what happens when you run out of time, I guess. So same thing again, got a bowline in this end, pull the bite through, stick through the bite, pull it nice and tight. And there we go. We'll go for a walk to the other tree. But I'll bring you guys with me because you can't see that other tree. Right. So, actually, I'll go around the other way. Done these knots so many times that I don't have to think about it. Most of it's just muscle memory. So I've got to do it the same way. So I've got the free end of the rope. I pass it over. I get a bit of slack. I'll do a clockwise twist. And that slack I'll poke through the loop there. And then pull the free end back. And that gives me a trucky's hitch. I'll edit that bit out. Right, free ends over the top, get a bit of slack happening, do 2 loops clockwise, free end through, pull tight, and then Do a couple of half inches here. I'll show you these knots all a little bit later in more depth, and I'll lock that off. Going to quickly show you that Prusik knot. These are great little knots. Now the trick is, have a thinner cord or rope, string, whatever you want to call it, thinner than your ridge line. That'll help it bite really well. A paracord, although everyone raves about it, it's not my favourite thing. It's got its uses, but it's slippery, which does not help when you're trying to do a Prusik knot and hold tension on it. So what I've done here, I'll just drop that down there, is I've just made a loop. Just an overhand knot, reef knot, fisherman's knot, whatever knot you like, you've just made a loop. Now come over here. What we're going to do here, so I like to try and keep the knot off to the side, is we'll go over your ridge line 1, 2, 3 times, and then pull that internal one. You can see that, and that kind of looks like a knuckle, like a fist. Now that can slide up and down on the ridge line nice and easy to wherever you want, but when you put sideways tension on it, here we go, this is bloody paracord for you. There we go, it's bit, but we can slide it. When you pull sideways, it bites, it locks down really tight. So that is then perfect for putting your end of your tarp through. Gotta love the bushes, so many useful sticks. Okay, so Prusik noop through either one of these corners or through the eyelet, doesn't really make any difference. Now you can just do it like that. A lot of people do like a marlin spike itch sort of thing, but you don't really need it. As long as it's under tension, this will be fine. So I'll just go and grab my cordage, make another Prusik, I'll show you again. Right, so I'm going to get about a foot, give it a cut. Okay, now put your cordage somewhere where you're not going to lose it like I did just 5 minutes ago. Right. Just a basic overhand knot is all you need. No need to get all fancy. There you go, that's your loop. So we'll do another one at the other end. Okay, so where's this going to go? All the way up here. So this is where I've got the truckies hitch. I've never tried this. Let's see if it'll bite on the truckies hitch. One, 2, 3. Pull it in. Make your little fist. Grab a stick. Poke your, there we go, slide it in, poke it through there, put your stick through, pull him tight. There you go, it works, probably even better. Magic. Now I need to peg out the corners. I might even tie them back to a tree so it's off the ground a little bit. So, the bowline. This is how I was taught to do it, and I've been doing it this way for about 40 years. So, clockwise twist. Now it was up the bunny hole, around the tree, and then back down the bunny hole. And there you go. Beautiful knot. Never come undone until you want it to. Super strong, super useful. It's one of the handful of knots that I teach you that you will really use a lot. I've already got some cordage on here done the same. Might as well use it. Okay, we've got our shelter. Let's get a fire going. And it's best not to keep your bits of string lying around on the ground, especially this stuff. I love this, it's really good stuff. It's just from the Bunnings hardware and it's called camo cord. And the colour of it, you really understand why it's called camo. You drop it out here in all this leaf litter, you're never going to find it again. It's painful. While I've got you, I'd just like to thank everyone who surprised the hell out of me and liked and subscribed to my first ever video that I did last week. Spurred me on to make another one. I'm no good at this, as I might have mentioned, but I'm trying. What I want to do is get bums on seats. I want to teach kids and adults who know nothing about camping, bushcraft, or being outside in the wilderness. I want to teach you how to do it, and you can be able to go out there confidently and really enjoy yourself instead of worrying about things. That's the purpose of the whole thing. Right, so now I've got somewhere dry to sit. Get my chair set up. Get the dogs a little bit of water. It's amazing how much water dogs drink. I'm pretty sure that's because of how dogs pant. Every time that tongue comes out and they're blowing air out over it, it's taking moisture from the body. I got this little chair for when I go hunting because it swivels. It's brilliant. Didn't cost a lot. Found it on Amazon, I think. Look at this. It's a swivel chair. Freaking great. There we go. That keeps the old fella happy. And we'll get a fire going right here. Now, I cheat a bit. I carry with me everywhere I go my Leatherman in a beautiful custom made pouch. RMK Leatherworks. I think they're up in Coffs Harbour. Yeah, so we worked together on this. You already had the pouch design, but I added a pocket on the side for my ferro rod. Big enough for my Leatherman, and the secret weapon in here. Got a few tools, things the Leatherman doesn't come with. Pair of tweezers, getting splinters out and ticks. A piece of stainless steel welding wire sharpened to a point. That's useful for millions of things. Getting splinters out again. Cleaning your teeth, whatever. A file. Picked that up in the hobby section at Bunnings. And in this tube, cotton balls and Vaseline. Can't go past it to get a fire going, especially in conditions a bit like this, where things might be a bit on the damp side. Now other than that, one of the best tinders you can find around here is the old stringy bark tree. So if you can find some nice dry bark on the stringy bark, we'll peel a bit of that off, we'll make a bird's nest, and we'll get a fire going in no time. There's one just behind me, give me a sec. So it doesn't hurt the tree, it grows new bark. It's not like I'm ring barking it or anything like that. So you just got to break up all the fibres in this bark. And here she is again. This dog is an absolute camera hog. Get out of the way. She thinks it's all about her. So break it right up into tiny little fibres. The smaller the better. Some of it just goes to dust, gets all over your hands, gets all over everything. But that's what you want. You want the smallest fibres you can possibly get. Now, depending on how dry it is, sometimes you can get this to just take a spark off a ferro rod by itself. Might give that a try. I've had this little ferro rod for years, so it's had a fair bit of use. It's fairly well worn down. You always use the back of your knife, never the blade, and a good knife has a sharp 90-degree edge on it. Okay, let's see if this will take. It might if I wanted to keep going for another half hour, but I don't. Time is precious, and I'm not getting any younger. So, out with the magic. That's another good use for the tweezers. Pulling the cotton balls out. Now keep all your tools when you're doing this away from like the centre of your fire. I've seen people burn up ferro rods, or quite simply lose them. Then you're stuffed. So break up your cotton ball into nice little loose fibres like that. Lay that down there in your tinder bundle. I'll bring you over so you get a better look. Okay, see that? I'm no cameraman, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed. Hey, get out of the fire. All right, here we go. Just like that. Again, put your tools down somewhere where you're not going to lose them. Now we get that to take on the tinder. Must have a little bit of moisture in it still, as you can tell by the smoke. Then you get the smallest little leaves you can get, just the tiniest little twigs. And as I keep saying, the smallest ones, the ones you really want, are just under your feet. Don't have to go searching for them. Just bend down, pick them up. There's all kinds of ways that people will try to teach you to make a fire. There's teepees and log cabins and upside down fires and long fires. And truth of the matter is, fires just like chaos. All they want is oxygen. So if they can get plenty of oxygen, they will burn, and they'll burn good. Even wet sticks will dry out and burn eventually. The main thing is you don't put too much on at once. You wait till it really gets going, because you don't want to suffocate it. So far I'm talking about a whole lot of stuff that I hadn't intended to see if we can get back to being on track, but I've been going for nearly half an hour already. Just waffling on. There's rule number 1 of bushcraft. Anything you do out here always takes way longer than you think. Even getting a drink. You know, if you can find a creek, you get some water out of that creek, you got to pre-filter it, and then it's always best to boil it. So you've got to get the fire going before you can even have a drink. Unless, of course, you bring it all with you. That's not really bushcraft, is it? That's more just camping, or glamping even. All right, that's going sufficiently, and my chair is still getting wet. Put my tools away. Leatherman, ferro rod. Who likes watching Alone? I love it. What are we up to? Season 13, I think. And it's the second time I've seen someone on Alone leave their ferro rod in the fire, and it literally burns up to next to nothing. Rookie mistake, even though they're not rookies. What happens is you get distracted. You get so much going through your mind, how not to die on that show, that I guess you just put it down, you're in a hurry, you're trying to get everything done, you're trying to film, it'd be a nightmare. So always get in the habit of putting your tools back where they came from. All right, now we are getting this going. It's another reason I like these pants. Yeah, sure, they're army, I'm not army, but they got great knee pads. I might even get a cuppa going myself later. So when it's going as strong as this, you can load it up a bit. It'll dry these sticks out as it goes. There we go. Right. Now, on the side of my pack, come over here. On the side of my little pack here, I have got a piece of canvas. And that is a very, very useful thing to have. You can sit on it, you can do all kinds of things with it. Get the hot things off the fire, quick release. There you go. So you can put that down by the fire and lean on it so you're not getting all dirty and mucked up. What I'm going to do, because it's raining and everything's getting wet still, is I'm going to put my bag on the canvas under my hoochie. There we go. Oh, there you go. That's all safe and sound. Surprisingly enough, my phone isn't getting too drowned. What I've just noticed is that the hoochie's hanging down a bit because I want to sit on there. I'm going to string the middle up to a tree behind me. Oh, there we go. All right. How's that? Okay. Is that good? You guys want somewhere to lie down? Yeah? All right, hang on. Back in one sec. repurposed sheepskin seat covers for the dogs. Over here. Come, over here. Good girl. Right here. Okay. So, got the Grail water filter here. In the water filter is my metal cup with lid and a cloth. Now, you guys won't go away. Get out of the way. Turkey. Oh, that's not going in there yet. So unfortunately there's no creek here. I'm up on a ridge. That's why I've got to bring some water with me. That's enough for a cuppa. Like we're using our water bottles, soda water or whatever soft drink. They're just handy having, they're a good size and they're a handy thing to have. Get that on the boil. Use some more water. Right. So, I suppose if we want to get back to what I was talking about, or was supposed to be talking about, was setting up a campsite. You've just seen me do it, but what you didn't see was the check for water. Okay, so you always want to camp where you can, near water, especially if it's a survival situation. Secondly, you want to look at the prevailing wind. Now today we got no wind. It's great, not a problem. But like I said, I'm on a ridge. That's west, east obviously behind me. If the wind was coming from the west, I'd probably want to go down just off the top of the ridge behind me, level out a spot and camp there. So we've got water, wind. The big one is widowmakers. Okay, we've had a lot of storms lately, and trees that you wouldn't think would come down have been coming down. There's a big one just up the hill a little bit further. It's a branch, it's about that round, and it's off a gum, and it looks healthy. It's full of leaves, and it's come down probably in the last week. And it's a massive branch. What they do is they just grow out too far. They get too heavy, they can't sustain themselves. Now without any warning whatsoever, bang, down they come. Now if you're camped under that, I'm sorry, but you're gone. Years ago, I was out with the Army cadets, and it was first thing in the morning. It was probably about 7, and you know, people were just starting to crawl out of bed and get themselves organised. And we heard this noise, and honestly it sounded like thunder. And what it was a tree, and it was a massive tree. Like you couldn't put your arms around it. And this thing came down, just tearing through the canopy of all the other trees, and it landed right on top of a tent that a couple of the girls had just vacated. They had just woke up, just got out, walked about 20 feet away, and bang, down this thing came. That could have been so tragic. So you've always got to look out for widowmakers. Don't forget to look up. All right, so we've got wind, we've got water, we've got widowmakers. You saw me clear the site. I'm looking for wigglies. All right, snakes, spiders, centipedes, bull ants, There's lots of them around. You don't want to be sleeping on top of those guys. Personally, you don't want them anywhere near you. I pulled up at a spot the other day which I thought would make a good camp. Once I've jumped out of the truck and had a look around, there were bull ant nests everywhere. I don't know why they love that spot, but they did. And the other one is, let's see now, what is it? We've got wind, we've got water, we've got widowmakers, we've got wigglies, and you've got wildlife. That's other wildlife. What you don't want to do is set yourself up on a game trail. Here in Australia, we don't have any real predators that would be a problem to us. But still, if you're sound asleep, you don't want kangaroos bouncing through your camp. They'll scare the buggery out of you. Same with wombats, same with goannas, same with just about anything really. You just don't want to be set up on a game trail. The only thing we've really got to worry about here is packs of wild pigs and packs of wild dogs. And I haven't had any run-ins with either of them actually, but I've heard some stories of a pack of wild dogs following a bloke. He was out hunting, and yeah, they've picked up on his scent and they've followed him, and they followed him for ages, and he's actually heading back to his farm. So he's on his own property, and yeah, the pack of dogs, they sent one out, and that one dog was out following him and testing out how he'd react, seeing how close it could get, and the rest of the pack was just hanging back a little bit. They're smart, they're thinking. If they could have taken him down, I reckon they might have. But yeah, that's just one of the things. So I think that was your 5 W's. Wind, water, widowmakers, wigglies, wildlife. You look out for those, you should have yourself a good night. The other thing I want to talk to you about was knots, the basic knots that you want for setting up your campsite. If I can find that bit of rope again. Okay, we'll come over here. I'll just get this fire going again. I can have my coffee. I just like the instant sachet coffees for out here. They're just easy. Right. So, the Humble Bowline. This one is definitely worth knowing. Okay, as I said before, you put one clockwise loop in the string, poke. This is the way I was taught. So, I was a kid. Right. Bunny rabbit comes up out of the hole, runs around the tree, and he dives back down his bunny hole. You grab those two, and that one, there you go. Now from there, you can make a marlin spikeage. Put a piece of stick in there, put anything in there that cinches up into a slip knot. Or you can poke it through your eyelets in your tarp, like I did, and just put a stick through there, and that won't come out. You can tie it around your waist. This is like an old navy knot, and it's one of, I believe it's one of the first ones they get taught. I just heard a story about a guy who went overboard, so first thing they can do this knot in their sleep. Just wrapped it around his waist, bowline, pulled him back into the ship. Fact or fiction? It's a good story. Okay, the other one I'll show you is a clove hitch. So, my stick is the bar or the stick. Go over on a diagonal, go over on another diagonal, and you've made an X. You loosen those up a little bit, and the tail goes up underneath both parts of the X. And when you pull down those, that's what you end up with. Alright, that's a great way to start any lashings off, because it's really good for biting down hard on As you can see by the end of my finger, it's turning purple. The harder you pull, the tighter the knot gets, but it loosens off and comes undone quite easily when you want it to. If you have just a like the end of a stick that you want to put your clove hitch on, here's a cheat. Twisting the cord, you put a loop into it and grab it. Twisting again, you put another loop in and grab it. Then you just put that over the end of your stick. And there you go. That'll do for today. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, pack up, get home, see what the missus is doing, and enjoy the rest of my weekend. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you like, subscribe, that'd be a bonus. Share, and if you feel like you or someone you like, now I reckon this would make a great birthday present or a Christmas present or whatever, give them a course. Get them out here, enjoy the bush, learn how to do all these things. The way I do it is all hands-on. Like I'll walk you through setting up your camp, whether it's a tarp or a tent. Walk you through it, teach you the knots as you need them. And then we can get around to making some cool stuff. We can get around to making our own tent pegs, our own mallets. Yeah, you can make spears. You can, hell, you can do anything. Fire hangers, rotisseries, the works. We'll be cooking over the fire. I like to start off with the basics, you know, like before you get into all the modern gadgets, which you really don't need. They're nice to have, but you really don't need them. Yeah, I'll teach you how to make all that stuff from scratch. It's a really good time. The kids love it. We teach them knife safety because they will be using knives to do all these things. Haven't had anyone cut themselves yet, so that's good. Anyhow, thanks for hanging out with me for a bit, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. And remember, we are nature.